Welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM, Facebook Live, the app all over the place, wherever you are able to tune in. We are glad that you are tuning in, and we are pleased to welcome in a guy that I had the pleasure to meet and get to know a little bit while he was here as a guest for Geek'd Con. And was just an absolute gem. Loved getting to hang out with him a little bit and meet him. Clint Howard, legendary actor, and man, to have you on the show is absolutely incredible. Clint, how are you, brother?
Well, I'm doing good, Patrick. I'm doing actually swimmingly well.
Oh, well, very good. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear indeed. Hey, let's go back to your time here at Geek'd Con a couple of weeks ago, because you know, it's always interesting to me when folks that are celebrities agree to go to the cons to kind of be a part of that. What kind of got you interested in cons and wanting to be out there and be a part of the fandom?
I think my maturity, number one. I think over a period of time in the last, 10 years or so, I've just come to recognize sort of the purity of really getting in and meeting fans, getting in and meeting real people and interacting with them. You know, I really love it. I enjoy, especially traveling. I mean, although the travel part of it can be kind of a pain.
Especially these days.
But, well, yeah, listen, yeah. We travel, my wife, Kat, and I, we go out and do this, a half a dozen times a year. And just recently, we got bumped. We had one of those things where we had to do a layover overnight, unexpected, in Dallas because of thunderstorms. It made it a little complicated, but still, no, I enjoy meeting people. I get a kick out of hearing what they like, their personal stories about, hey, when was the first time you saw Ice Cream Man?
Right.
I love that. Or, and of course, Waterboy, especially down there in Cajun country.
Well, sure.
Waterboy was just a huge item to talk about down there in Shreveport.
Yeah.
And, fun experiences working on that movie, but probably, and listen, and Adam Sandler is a minch of all minches. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
But I get more satisfaction from talking with the fans that got a positive response from the movie.
Yeah.
So I enjoy going out and meeting people, and it's fun.
I tell you, one of the things I really appreciated about you is the fun you were having yourself, not just meeting people, but also going and doing things. And I referenced, we had a cosplayer who does Superman. And you and your wife are like, hey, let's get over and get a picture with Superman. He's like, well, I want a picture with you. And you're like, I want a picture with you. And you go over there and y'all kind of staged a really cool picture where you're standing on a chair and it looks like he's picking you up by your vest and you're punching him and everything. Just the idea.
Well, he was.
He was.
Wait, hold on, Patrick.
Okay.
Hold on, Patrick. He was picking me up, and I was punching him. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's the world of cosplay.
I'm sorry. He was very clearly picking you up by your vest, and you were very clearly punching him. It was obvious to everyone, but just the idea, Clint, that you can enjoy the other, those kind of experiences at a convention. It's not just about, hey, let me stand here and let everyone come to me. You went out and enjoyed so much of what was going on.
Oh, listen, we dig it. I dig it. My wife, Kat, digs it. Our daughter, Rafa, when she sometimes when she's not in school and the scheduling works out, she comes with us, and she's a cosplayer and she's into anime, and it's a lot of my enjoyment is of course living through our 12-year-old, our 13. She just turned 13. I now have a teenager. Oh boy
yeah.
On that one.
Yeah.
But no, it's listen. I love the environment. I love it's a circus. It's a carnival. In a very simple way, I am part of the carnival myself. All I am is a guy. I've got a little booth at the Midway, and I put on a show. People come by and appreciate my work, and they put a few coins in my cigar box, and then I can carry on with my life. But the cons are an extension of that. And I just appreciate it. And it's also very grassroots. They're also very safe. The fans are awesome, especially down there in Shreveport with the Geek'd Con. I mean, that was a great bunch of people. Even the horror conventions, the straightaway horror conventions, they get a little weird. They still feel safe to me.
Yeah.
So, I dig it, and it's fun. And, outside of having to do an unexpected layover in Dallas, we have a wonderful time going out and enjoying those things.
Rogers, I have to tell you, I felt horrible. I was sort of leading Clint and crew around a little bit to the green room for the guests and whatnot. The elevator goes out in the loading dock, and I took a wrong turn, and I've got poor Clint, who's had a hip replacement. I've got them going down flights of stairs in this little stairwell instead of getting to the escalator that goes all the way. I'm thinking to myself, I have just ruined this experience for this man, and and he's gonna just berate me, and I'm gonna deserve it. By the way, like I will take that berate, and he couldn't have been sweeter about it. Trust me, that meant a lot to me, Clint, because that's one of those scenarios where I screwed it up, and I'm like, this poor guy, he's already got a limp to start with, and I'm making him go down 9 flights of stairs. But you handled it like a champ, and I appreciate that. Like that said a lot to me, because that could have been a situation where you go, hey, look, come on, man, you need to know where you're going, where the escalators are, whatever, and I would have deserved that. But you didn't, and so I thank you for that, because that was showed a real piece of your humanity there.
Well, you're welcome, Patrick, and this just proves you can't read my mind.
Well, hey, as long as it's the inside voice, that's all that I care about. As long as it didn't pop out. Hey, you know.
Listen though, but I'll tell you what, this is the way my mind works, and because I listen, I enjoy stuff. I mean, first of all, we were indoors. It was a little steamy down in those corridors and stuff, but it wasn't bad. And I just kept thinking that hilarious scene in Spinal Tap when the band was trying to get to the stage and they ended up making wrong turn after wrong turn. And that's a hilarious moment that I go back and relive in my mind after watching Spinal Tap, which was one of those brilliant gems.
Oh, yeah.
That movies that happen. So you might have been thinking bad things. I was thinking, I'm in Spinal Tap.
Well, I'm no Michael McKeon. That's for sure. I can't pull that off. Speaking of sparkling gems, we're chatting with a sparkling gem himself, Clint Howard. See, sir, you see how I did that? That's how you take a piece of an interview and make sure you turn it around and make it good. Hey, this is interesting to me, because you have had such a long career and you've had so many different roles, and I find it interesting. Do you see, when you go to these cons, like just the amount of different fandoms that you had? You mentioned, right, people in Louisiana, South Central LSU, the Water Boy, all of that. But then you've got folks that are Ice Cream Man fans. You've got folks that are maybe Austin Powers fans. Rogers, my producer, Gentle Ben, that was his show back in the day. Like, is it interesting to see sort of the various subsections of fandom that you have?
Oh yeah. I mean, certainly it's also satisfying when one of those nuggets that hasn't been talked about in a while. Like I did a couple of episodes of a show called My Name Is Earl.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, somebody will pop in and be a My Name Is Earl fan. And I got to play a crazy character. In fact, I think I was Creepy Rodney was my character name in that show. But so anyway, it's the new one. And listen, I've been blessed. I'm very fortunate to have worked so much that I do have this pretty huge resume of work. And it's hundreds and hundreds of titles going back into the 60s with obscure appearances on obscure television shows. And listen, I've worked with several silent movie actresses. I've worked with a lot of Hollywood icons: Henry Fonda, Maureen O'Hara. I mean, these are just titans of the business, and I'm proud to have said that I got to work with them. and it's the quirky stuff. But it is like I reference My Name Is Earl. I did an episode of the Night Gallery, which the sci-fi people come up every once in a while. I was the boy that predicted earthquakes. I was the boy that predicted the end of the world in this episode of Night Gallery.
Yeah.
So it was fun. And of course, then my connection with my brother.
Sure.
Those movies. That wonderful collection like Parenthood. Parenthood is one because Parenthood I had a small little role, but I played the quintessential a-hole Little League father.
Yeah.
And that struck a chord with so many people who have been through the Little League programs and the Park and Recreation programs that, I got to play that guy that was just the worst father, the worst baseball dad you could imagine,
Yeah. No, and that's the thing is, people always often describe you as a character actor. Is that in the realm of acting? Is that is that a compliment? Is that an insult? Is it, it just is what it is? What is, is that sort of a pigeonholing of you? What does that mean when people say you're a character actor?
Well, I think all actors are character actors, no matter what you do, whether you're playing the lead, whether you're playing a matinee idol, or whether you're playing some scumbucket. You're a character, and I enjoy the variety of the roles. Although listen, I've very few times in my career I could ever characterize myself as playing a matinee idol.
Right.
But listen, I enjoy the variety, and I know. Listen, I have lived a blessed life, and getting to work as much as I've worked in my life, and getting to do the variety of things that I've done, has been rewarding. Has been rewarding internally, and that's the one thing about being a character actor or doing cameos is they're fun to do. They don't pay very well.
Yeah.
Because usually a cameo really entails one day of work. And that's fine too. I love one day. If you can get in, you can do something that's memorable, and then you can get out and move on to the next job. But I also like the lucrative job. There's no, listen, it's called show business. It's a business for me. It's my livelihood. It's how I take care of my family and take care of my future is my work in what I do for a living. So, to get on those big shows, that's fun too.
Could Gentle Ben get made today the way it was made then? I mean, y'all are literally running around with bears. I mean, that can't. I mean, I know they're trained, but that bear takes one swipe at you and you're cut in half. I can't imagine running around and having children act with bears. I don't know. It's just I can't fathom it, Clint.
Well, Patrick, that's a little dramatic.
Is it?
One swipe cut me in half.
I mean, those bears have pretty sharp claws, brother.
Patrick, it would take that bear 30 minutes.
Okay.
To cut me in half.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess congratulations. You were completely safe. The bear would clearly get bored by the time the 30 minutes roamed around.
I'll tell you what. No, an animal show. Listen, there's something I think the producers in Hollywood are missing the boat. I think animals, emotionally, physically, very interesting, very mesmerizing. I mean, that was one reason why Gentle Ben was such a memorable show. Is people, a boy with a bear. People's eyes were glued to the TV for various reasons. The adventure, maybe the danger. The reality is there was no danger. The bear was not a carnivorous creature. The bear did not eat meat.
Right.
The bear liked sweets. So sweet, and basically he was a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Berries. He was a California black bear. He didn't. In fact, that's how they trained. That's how they introduced me to the bear. Is they threw him a piece of steak in his cage. He smelled it and didn't eat it. Then he threw in a box of donuts into his cage, and he devoured them like he was in a diabetic friggin' frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
So that just proved to me as a 7-year-old boy, I'm not a donut. I'm a piece of meat. Well, that's actually a bad way of putting it.
Clint, you're a wonderful piece of meat, sir. That's exactly what I think of you as a piece of meat. Are you playing the theme song from Gentle Ben, Rogers? Oh, come on. I'm sorry, Clint. I can't keep my producer. It's his favorite show. He loves you in Gentle Ben, so he wants to. Okay, get it. Okay, Rogers, that's enough. The Gentle Ben theme song.
Hey, memorable, and that, not for a second do I ever wince at that.
Yeah.
Not for a second. That was, first of all, on a personal level, it was a great experience working on Gentle Ben down in Florida. You know, I was primarily down there with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and my mom would come and visit, but my brother was working on the Andy Griffith Show at the time, so my mom stayed back in Los Angeles with Ron, and my dad went with me to work on Gentle Ben. My dad was also an actor on the show and a writer of the show, so, you know, we kept busy down in Florida. But those experiences of being a 7, 8, 9-year-old boy down there in Florida having an adventure, I mean, you thought it was fun when you see an episode. You mentioned real quickly. You mentioned about could Gentle Ben exist today? Right. You know, and you couched it in terms of the danger of the actor working with the animals, and Gentle Ben, in many regards, in today's culture, very politically incorrect. You know, first of all, Dennis Weaver played a game warden. Yeah. And he's squeezing off 5 or 6 rounds from his revolver or his rifle in every episode. Right. You know, there's a scene in an episode of Gentle Ben where Slim Pickens was the guest actor on the show. Slim Pickens and Dennis Weaver did a 2-page dialogue scene with guns pointing at each other. Yeah. You know, and also, I mean, this is nothing to be proud of, but, you know, there weren't a lot of blacks on the show. Right. And Native American Indians were called Injuns. You know, and that's just the way our culture was rolling in the 60s, and nothing to be proud of. But that's just kind of the way it was, you know. And so as far as Gentle Ben would be a much more, what would be the term? Clean show. Mm-hmm. It would be different in many regards, you know. But listen, that was a different era. That was a different era, and that was something that was. See, how long ago was Gentle Ben? We started doing Gentle Ben in 1967. Yeah. So I mean, do the math.
55 years. 55 years. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I guess the good news, you could actually do it. You said Gentle Ben, not a meat eater. You know, a vegan bear. I mean, that's a woke bear, Clint. That's perfect. You got that's a show right there. The Gentle Ben, the woke bear is perfect. He's vegan. He's not trying to eat meat. He's you know, Impossible Whoppers are where he's looking. I mean, that's a show that would work perfectly today.
You know what he also did though, Patrick? Yeah. Impossible Poops. That bear ate so much food. That bear ate so much. Bags of monkey chow, bags of carrots, heads of lettuce, boxes of donuts. When that bear decided to go to the bathroom, he went bathroom. That's
legendary. Legendary. And see, there you go. That's wasn't that oh gosh. I can't remember the guy's name that one of the actors was always legendary. For one of the older actors is always legendary for that kind of stuff. So it works out just well. Hey, I want to talk about quickly before we let you go, your sports fandom. Obviously, this is allegedly a sports talk show that I do, although we you know, talk about a lot of other things. Where your sports allegiances lie?
Well, I was really raised a baseball fan primarily. I love sports. I mean, I played golf religiously for over 25 years. Mm-hmm. 2 hip operations. I've actually had 3 hip operations. I've had both hips replaced, and I had to have one of them done again. So my years of being able to play a lot of golf it's a little bit in question right now. But you know, golf, baseball, diehard baseball fan. I was originally a Baltimore Orioles fan. And I have since become a Pittsburgh Pirate fan. And I've just plenty of experiences working in Pittsburgh. Kat and I fly the Jolly Roger, the Pittsburgh Pirate, team, which, you know, they don't win very often. So you only have to fly the Jolly Roger once a week.
There you go.
But yeah, the Pirates are my team, and I guess I have to say the Steelers are our team.
Mm-hmm.
Although my wife is she's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. First of all, she loves Mahomes. She's got a thing. She's got a woman crush on Mahomes.
No, that's
and
not a bad
and
one.
Also, no, I know he's a good-looking dude. But here's the real kicker. This is where this diehard sports fans will understand this. The real reason why she likes Kansas City is because of their initials K and C, and that to me, for her, that stands for Cat and Clint.
Yeah.
K-C. That's why she's a Chiefs fan.
Sure, she can wear She can wear the hat and just pretend like it's all for y'all, and it has nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes.
Also, I'm very familiar with the Calvin Klein catalog because they also are a C and a K.
Right. Well,
so anyway,
no, I get it.
We love. I love sport. You know, even college football. You know, I mean, even college football. College football is frigging awesome. USC. I was, born in LA. Just naturally gravitated towards. Actually, my favorite local team probably is the Trojans.
Yeah,
probably the Trojans. I've never been a big Dodger fan. But and you guys down there, you guys go nuts with LSU football.
Sure.
I mean, golf is huge down there.
Mm-hmm.
I listen. We got a great kick out of going to Shreveport. And that was really, truthfully, I'm not just BSing anybody. That was really a blast. I've had a couple of wonderful experiences working on movies in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that's also a great town. You got to make sure you get there at the right time of year because both New Orleans and Shreveport can get miserably hot.
Yes, especially if you're used to living in LA, where it doesn't get miserably hot. Well, it can.
Well,
right, except for right now. But yeah,
we've had a summer.
Yeah,
we've had a summer.
Last thing before we let you go, Clint, just the. I find you fascinating because you're a guy who could very easily be overshadowed by your brother, but I don't feel like you are. I don't feel like you're the other guy. I feel like you are your own man. You've made your own career. You have your own stuff. You stand solidly on your own footing, and for me, that's I've got to imagine that's one of the great things for you is, look, embrace your family, all of that. But the idea that you can stand on your own and not have to, you're not a reflection of Ron or your dad or anything else. I've got to imagine that's very fulfilling for you throughout your career.
Patrick, thank you. I've never really looked at it that way. I love my brother. Ron's the only brother I have. And I would love him regardless of what he did, what he's accomplished. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him making the transition from being a juvenile actor that nobody took seriously to a frigging high impact Hall of Fame filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's probably no one prouder except maybe his wife, Cheryl.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what we watched Ron do is phenomenal. I love my brother, and it's a cool shot. And listen, Ron has left an incredible imprint on the culture, from being Opie, being in the Andy Griffith Show, being in The Music Man. Then he gets on Happy Days. That's a Hall of Fame television show. He happens to make a little movie with George Lucas called American Graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
Then he starts directing movies, and, we don't even have to list them all off. But, from Backdraft, Apollo 13, Parenthood, on and on. This 13 Lives is a wonderful movie. I mean, listen, he's going to cast a shadow. It's a cool, warm shadow that Ron allows, has. And the fact that I can be in that shadow is something I feel privileged. I feel I'm grateful. So, and the fact that I've been able to poke along and have a really nice career and leave my own impression on people, I think that's cool too. And it doesn't really stroke my ego, but it reaffirms in my mind and in my heart that I've got chops. I've got chops, both acting chops and life chops, that allows me to have an imprint on people, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I do have one regret, Clint, is that I at some point wanted you to tell me that I was not what you'd call a handsome man. That's my only regret.
You are not what you would call a handsome man.
Yeah.
The good Lord chose not to bless you with charm, athletic ability, or a fully functional brain.
Yes.
That's about all you can get.
Brother, I'm going to tell you, that is getting clipped and is going to run on this station. I can assure you of that. Hey, look, we've had the opportunity to meet so many great celebrities and so many great folks through the course of Geek'd Con. You were an absolute gem, brother. You really were. I've told everyone that I've talked to, it was an absolute joy just to be with you, see your joie de vivre, your joy of life, and how you interacted with folks was absolutely a pleasure to see. I'm so happy that that's the attitude you have in life. And I know you're not coming back next year because of superstition, but we definitely look forward to having you back here before too long.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, odd even years would be great. It is a superstition not to go back right away.
Sure.
Because I just feel like that we have Kat and I have lots of places to travel to, but I certainly promise that Shreveport is a destination for us that we will visit again.
You're the absolute best. Thank you so much for your time today, brother, and have yourself a wonderful weekend and a wonderful fall.
Hey, well, thank you, Patrick, and let me add one thing.
Yeah.
Why don't you get back to talking sports, for crying out loud?
No, it's not. Well, if you want to make some picks, we're about to do our Patrick's picks coming up here in a little bit, so. You're welcome to stick around and make a few bets against the line if you like, but that's about as much sports as we're talking today. When you get a chance to chat with a legend like Clint Howard, you don't talk about sports if you don't have to. That's just life.
Well, it is life. That's life. I understand that, and I'm going to pass on the sports predictions because I'm a little superstitious about that. And if I stick my brain out there and start trying to make picks, then come Sunday when it's really time to make the picks, I'm going to be SOL.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Hey, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck moving forward, Clint.
Cool. Talk to you guys later, Patrick.
All right. Clint Howard, legendary actor, guest from Geek'd Con. Rogers is dialing up the Andy Griffith music. We didn't even get into Leon and the peanut butter sandwich. We didn't even get into any of that. All right. Good stuff.